Today we're going to do the Make a Face lab. Each of you has a whole set of chromosomes. What I need you to do is I need you to take the chromosomes out of the bag. I need you to shake them up in your hand and drop them onto the lab desk. Then I need you to organize them in size order. You'll notice that each of the chromosomes also has a number. You can see that I have it arranged 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, all the way through to chromosome number 22. Then I also have my sex chromosome. If you're the mother, you're going to have a sex chromosome that has an X on one side and an X on the other side. If you're the father, you're going to have an X on one side and a Y on the other side. What I need you to do first is I need you to locate the sex chromosomes, and I need you to shake them up, drop them to the table, and look to see which two land face up. Those are the chromosomes that you've chosen for your baby. You essentially just carried out meiosis. If you have an XY, you have a boy. Congratulations. If you have an XX, you have a girl. Congratulations. You should record the genotype in your data table under sex. That's the gender of your baby. The genotype for a girl would be XX. The genotype for your boy would be XY. The phenotype for your girl would be girl, and your phenotype for your boy would be boy. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to follow along in the genotype to phenotype translation booklet. If you open the booklet, the very first task was to determine the sex of your baby, which we just did. The next one's a little bit more difficult. It's skin color. Skin color is controlled by 3 different genes on different chromosomes. It tells you that you need to locate chromosomes number 1, 2, and 4 for each of you. You can set the other chromosomes aside for now. What you need to do is you need to shake those chromosomes up, drop them to the table, and see which side lands face up for each of you. As you can see with this one that I have, we're going to look for the letter A as it tells me in my directions for the lab. This particular gene controls for the protein melanin that makes your skin color darker. The more capital A's or dominant alleles you have, the darker your skin color will be. If you look at my genes, I have one little a, another little a capital A, a lowercase a capital A, and a lowercase a. In this particular case, since we have multiple genes controlling it, we're going to write down all the letters in sequential order in our data table, writing the capital letters first. So I would write 2 capital A's, and then I would write my lowercase a's. So in this case, I have 2 capital A's that I would write, and then I would write 4 lowercase a's. If you look in your genotype to phenotype translation booklet, it explains to you that the color of the skin gets darker the more capital A's you have. So an individual with 2 capital A's or 2 dominant alleles would have a light skin tone. Tomorrow in class, I'll show you a data table that shows you the different skin tones so you can get a better idea if you need help. But the more capital A's you have, the darker your skin is. If you have all lowercase a's, you will have very pale skin. If you have all capital A's, you will have very dark skin. If you follow along in the guidelines, as you go through the genotype to phenotype translation booklet, the next trait that you'll look at would be freckles on the cheeks. You need to find chromosome number 21, and you need to shake that up for the 2 of you. Determine the genotype, write it down on your data table, and then also write the phenotype down, whether you have freckles on the cheeks or no freckles. You'll continue through each of the different traits using the genotype to phenotype translation booklet as a guide. The next most difficult trait that you'll be determining would be hair color. Hair color is controlled by 4 different genes on different chromosomes. Hair color uses capital H's and lowercase h's as our representation for hair. The more capital or dominant alleles you have, the darker your hair will be. So if you had all lowercase h's, you would have very pale hair, basically a white colored hair, almost albino-like. If you have all capital H's, you would have dark hair, basically a pure black hair. And then you add different variations as you go on. The next trait after hair color, which makes it a little bit more difficult, is a red hair pigment. I need you to read the paragraph very carefully for red hair. You're going to use chromosome number 4 in order to determine this. And some of you might be thinking, my goodness, I already did hair color. However, the red hair adds an additional pigment to the hair color. If you happen to get a dominant allele for red hair, which would be one capital G, you would have some red that shows through. Not as intense as if you have two capital Gs. So if you happen to have one capital G and light colored hair, so a blonde hair color or a light brown, you will have a red hair tone. If you have two capital Gs and a light hair color, you will have a very bright red hair color. Think more of a Ronald McDonald kind of color. If you have a capital G but very dark hair, you will have basically what we would consider to be more like red undertones to your hair, almost an auburn color. If you have two capital Gs and dark colored hair, you would just have very faint red undertones to the hair that are almost not necessarily visible. It's kind of like that hair color that you see when it shines in the bright sunlight. You kind of see that little red tinge to it, and that's what you'll end up seeing. The others are relatively easy. You need to be careful and read very carefully for face shape and chin shape though. Things will be continuous with them, and some of them will not have that particular trait. Once you're done with all of the traits, you need to look at your data table and determine what your baby is going to look like. You're going to draw your baby's face as to what your baby's face would look like based on the traits that you have. Tomorrow, in class, I'll help you make sure that you have your traits right and that your baby is all set. And on Thursday in class, we're going to have the cutest and the ugliest baby contest. Good luck and enjoy the lab.